If you were no longer affected by the judgment of others and you stopped judging yourself, would you make different choices? Why make choices in your life based on judgments instead of on your awareness of what would create the life and living you desire? Everyone has the potency to make inspired choices. Get ready to listen, share, and experience the creativity that is you. Now, here is the host of Inspired Choices Radio Show, Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. Every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm.
Welcome, everyone. I am so glad you're here with us tonight. We are going to have a fun show, so I hope you're ready to have fun. I have one of my very, very, very favorite people in my life who's been a huge contribution in my life and who has helped me to translate some of the chaos with me tonight. And I can't wait to introduce you to her. You know her. She is Carol Glover, the one, the only amazing Carol Glover, and she's with me tonight. And the show is called Lost in Translation. So before we get into the show, I'd just like to tell you a little bit about myself. When I work with individuals, I co-create the living and loving that they desire, all the possibilities available in the universe. I'm a possibilities coach, access consciousness certified facilitator, bars facilitator, energy healer, body worker, radio show host and producer, website builder, and so much more. I love creating and I love being different. Do you enjoy being different? Are you ready to embrace the difference that you are in the world as the contribution that it can be to your life and living? My programs assist you to bringing more possibilities to actualization. Connect with me to learn more. I do charge for my services, but the first 5 minutes are always free. So tonight, Lost in Translation. What communication are you desiring to have with you, your business, your body, and your clients? Do you find that all or most often all of these things are speaking a different language, or that the translator has not yet shown up? What if you are your own translator? So tonight, Carol and I are going to be talking about translating this crazy world of communication with all of your entity creations, and how much fun is this going to take us into new places with our bodies, our businesses, everything. We're so excited to bring this with you and through all of our experiences. So welcome, Carol Glover.
Hello.
I'm so glad you're here to play with me tonight.
Me too. I always like playing with you.
Okay, good. So
even if you give me wedgies, I'll still play.
I know, you're such a willing partner. I love that about you. I am having so much fun, just the idea of this translation, because, oh my God, we can go in so many places. But before we get too far, I want to tell all of our listeners about you and the brilliance and the creations you are in the world. So Carol Glover, she started out as I'm doing this from the top of my head, everybody. She started out as a project manager. She worked for many, many years as a project manager. She started her own business as in landscape. She had her own business in landscaping. She makes jewelry out of fishing lures. She, I love that part about you. That just like, let's throw a side curve in. Carol is, she was the one person that began the radio show producing with me. She's been with me on this journey of creating these amazing radio shows, and she's always there. She's always got my back. She's my girl. I'm so grateful for her. She's also amazing at energy, reading the energy of a business. This absolutely came to her, and she evolved it or created it out of, really a lot of it she created out of evaluating and communicating with my business, which we'll get into in a little bit. And she's just an amazing woman. She creates websites with me. We do all sorts of things together. And like we say, she's one of the witches here on the airwaves with us. So welcome, Carol. What did I miss? What should I have included?
Nothing. That's enough. I can't believe you remembered the fishing lures. And
what?
I can't believe you remembered the fishing lures. That's hilarious.
Yeah, because you had a picture up there last night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's so funny. Anyway, so tell the there's got to be something that I've missed.
Did you mention I'm an Access certified body process facilitator and bars facilitator?
No, I didn't. Thank you for doing that.
I can heal bodies and businesses, and I have no idea what else, but I'm willing to explore.
Awesome. And Carol has an amazing cottage in Northern Ontario, and we're going to be playing there and creating. We've been speaking to a book that we're going to co-create together, and I think it's going to actually come to birth this summer. We're going to sit in the forest with a couple bottles of wine.
Yep.
And see what gets created.
That place is never going to be the same.
Or your husband. He probably won't come up that weekend. Anyways, maybe we better get to the show because you and I could gab on forever and ever. So, Lost in Translation. When we were
Did you see in the chat? That's not a book. That's an incident involving mounted police.
And that would be our creative writing coach, Sherry L.R. Taylor. Unleash the Krakens? Is that what Keisha said? Oh my God! If you're not in the chat room, you're just not having enough fun in your life. Come on over to A2Zen.fm. Click on the top bar where it says chat room. Put in a false name, a real name. We have no point of view about that, and come play with us because we do have lots of fun. But I do want to get to the conversation around tonight, the whole Lost in Translation. So I'm going to kind of share what's been occurring with me, and from probably I'll take it from when I started my business, and then you can kind of jump in and share what you've been learning and what we've been both discovering as we've been going along on this trail. So when I started my business, I was in human resources and for many, many years. And when I started my business, I went into HR consulting. And I just thought that was the quote-unquote right thing to do. I always knew I wanted a business. It was like a child screaming in my ear, wanting to get my attention. And the name of my business really jumped out at me very, very quickly as well. And then when I would actually be doing what I, quote-unquote, thought I should be doing, which was HR consulting, it felt difficult, hard. I felt like I was pushing. The idea of actually going out to businesses and knocking on the doors to do my consulting made me just about want to throw up. So it was interesting. I started to get individuals. I was speaking to individuals, and I started coaching them one-on-one. And Carol happened to be one of those individuals, and that's how we first met. And
lucky me,
woo! Or not so sometimes. And then it really did start to evolve, and over the years, I started to do business coaching with entrepreneurs and assisting them to really be seen in the world. And Carol and I actually have a site called Being Visible, and we have a Facebook page called Being Visible as well. And we want to share a little bit more about that tonight. But all of these things started to come, but I didn't understand it logically, and I really didn't understand what it was all trying to be and what it meant. And I was trying to, I guess, fit things in a box. Does that make sense, Carol?
Totally. Yeah.
And then when I was introduced to Access Consciousness and how we we're different and we create differently, and how that's actually a huge contribution, that all started to become clear. That felt like the fog was dropping, the translation was starting to come through, and I could hear it. And then you stepped in with this brilliance of the energy of business and all of that, which has been phenomenal for me and my business. And most recently, taking the body classes, you and I both do bars, and how much of a huge contribution that has been. And we doing the bars, doing the 3-day body class. We had Cass Thomas here in Toronto last year. She's coming in 3 weeks again. I'm going to be going to another body class. How did I get so lucky? And then I just did Right Body for You, actually 9 days of Right Body for You. And that has been such another huge contribution. I never even imagined how much my brilliant body was willing to contribute and actually wanting me to listen so that it could contribute. So all of these tools have been coming together, and yet learning to quote-unquote listen to them or translate their messages, that's been and still sometimes is the place for me where I'm like, okay, what is this? Like, what's trying to be said? So you take it from there and you share with the listeners.
Yeah, it's funny. The one thing that out of all of that you said, the one thing that really stands out to me, and it really started to, the whole translation piece started to unravel for me was with the body. I was like, yeah, I know my body's talking to me, and all of these things that these people were saying was like, oh, awesome, I wish my body would say that. And like kind of knowing that my body was talking to me, but it was like, I don't understand it. It's not talking my language, and I'm not getting it clearly. And, I'm never going to understand my body and what it's trying to tell me. And it became a point of real frustration with me. And I think that might be actually one of the spots where this whole translation thing came up. I can do it with businesses pretty very easily. And yet sometimes even with my own business, it's like, what are you trying to tell me? Like, I'm not getting it this way. Like, what language are you speaking?
And how much, Carol, have we, when we initially created our businesses or we started to think about them, which could have been when we were 2 years old, did we go into conclusion or judgment or expectation of them, which basically not only limits the possibilities, but limits our ability to hear them speak to us?
Yeah, there's that, and for me as well, it was trying to. I had this vision of what I wanted my business to be and what I wanted it to do in the world for myself and the people I work with. But then I went and tried to fit it into the box that was called business coach or whatever, and it was supposed to look like this one thing, and I was supposed to say things just this one way, and people were going to flock to me, and that didn't happen.
Shocking.
So it's like, you think? But we're told, if you say things this way, then
right.
Then the world is your oyster.
Right, and that's that we have looked at this before, where when we are following the quote unquote methodology of someone else that's been successful, or we're following the path to someone else's quote unquote success, or what they're selling out there, it may not always work for us. And I'm here to tell you, I spent a lot of money, honey, on trying to get the answer from somebody else that worked for them, and well, it didn't work until I really, really began to check in with me and my personal creation and asking it how it wanted to show up in the world and listening to it and working with it. And it's just so different.
Yeah, definitely. It's easier.
It is easier, and if you're feeling frustrated right now, we just want to ask you to set aside all of your frustrations, maybe pour yourself a nice glass of wine or a cup of tea, sit back and be open to receive some of the really cool things that Carol and I have learned, and we're just so thrilled. We love doing this, and we love sharing that with people so that they can have more fun and brilliance in the world, because amazing things can be created when we're creating from this place of joy and ease. And what if everything didn't have to be a friggin' challenge or a massive puzzle? What could it actually be that would be different for you, for me, and for the world? So we're going to take, here we go, let's breathe into that. That feels nice. Thanks, Christine. You're welcome. Okay, so we are going to, yes, I do talk to myself. You should be here. It's pretty interesting. We are going to take a very quick break, and when we come back from break, we're going to get further into this with some more details and some nuggets for you guys to take away. If you're interested, we would love to have your questions in the chat room, or we would love to take your call and see what you have to say or the questions that you might have. So you are listening to Inspired Choices on A2Zen.fm. I'm here with my friend, co-creator in brilliance, Carol Glover, and we are talking about being lost in translation. So please stay tuned, and we will be right back.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
Being visible, being social, being heard. What desires are you ready to create? Would you like to take the next step to creating a potent presence on the web? Would it create more possibilities and expansion in your life? BeingVisible.ca offers website, social media, radio show creation, and more. Creating with consciousness, bringing the energy of you to your audience. Are you ready to connect with your audience clearly, regularly, and with ease? Christine McIver and Carol Glover work with individuals and organizations to create a powerful presence on the web. Personal attention and one-on-one training creates the ease with expanding you. Are you ready? Connect today at BeingVisible.ca.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bar session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is A2Zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Christine, and I'm here with Carol Glover tonight, and we are talking about being lost in translation. So, Carol, where do we want to go from here?
Oh, boy.
Surprise.
Oh, Sherry. Hi, everybody. This is Sherry L.R. Taylor. Sherry is one of our crazy friends. She's also a radio show host here, and she is a brilliant author coach, writing coach, the joyful writer. Hi, Sherry. Welcome to our show.
Surprise! I have conspired with Keisha, your producer, to pop onto your show tonight to give you a whammy.
Uh-oh. Okay, guys, I do not know what she's about to do, so please don't hold it against me for what she's about to do, because I have no idea what this is.
Well, this is one of those wonderful things where, because I'm, I'm your coach and one of your sneakiest friends. I decided to pop on your show today to talk about something that you are doing, which
Sherry.
I know you are not going to talk about yourself, because I think it's super, double, triple, rainbow awesome, and I think listeners would really, really, really like to know about it. So, pardon my interruption into your Lost in Translation. But interestingly, I do think that this kind of relates, because it's kind of one of the ways that we mute ourselves. We kind of crowing our own creations, and we tend to hide our own light. But I really think that your listeners, and I know you already know what I'm talking about now.
Now I do.
I think that your listeners would be very interested to know about this. So I'm just going to give them a really quick background. A few weeks ago, our amazing Miss Christine posted on Facebook about taking her body on a date, and she made it sort of almost like an announcement, like an engagement was happening or something. It was very the way that you phrased that. I'm going to be dating someone, and yes, it's a she.
No, I said, I know you're all surprised. I'm surprised too.
Exactly. It was very clever. But it was all about taking her body on a date, and she got the most amazing responses from people on that post, and it was really what became evident to her and what became evident to me was that people really were lit up by this subject and by this idea of treating our body in a way that we would treat someone else really special, like a date, and increasing the communication with your body so much that you would literally take your body on a date and treat it to whatever it was desiring in the moment. Yes, Keisha says in the chat room, as if your body was your lover. I mean, brilliant, right? And people had a really big response to this. And so when Christine and I started talking, she was even translated into German. Somebody reposted it and translated it.
Can I just say that blew my socks off? Like, seriously, somebody translated me into another language. Like, honestly, guys, I know I've done a lot of things in my life, but that was one of those gobsmacking moments for me. I was in yummy land for quite a while after that.
I think that was actually, you were found in translation there, by the way, just to, tap in.
Okay, we missed that.
So what came out of this was we started talking, and Christine has for quite some time known that she was going to write a book. And I think that actually she's going to write many books. But what happened was this just really started popping, and what she would like to do, she wants to raise some money to create this book. I get that a lot of people would love to have this book in their hands. And what she is doing is a very clever and wonderful thing where she's doing a Google Hangout where people can, at various levels of contribution, they can come on this Google Hangout where people are going to be invited. She's going to invite people to look at that issue of dating your body, that idea of dating your body and treating your body the way that you would a lover and communicating with it. You'll be able to ask her questions live on the air and contribute and do all kinds of fun things with her live on this Google Hangout. She's got all different levels of contribution. I just shared the Facebook event. There's a Facebook event for it. And if you just search for Christine's Date Your Body fundraiser in the events, it is a public event on Facebook, and you will be able to join up And everybody who contributes toward this amazing project will get a copy of the book and will be joining her on the Google Hangout. And I just think that this is just such an amazing and expansive thing that I totally butted into your show to tell people about it, because I think people desire this, and I kind of knew that you wouldn't. So,
okay, if you know me, and if this is not the first time you've heard me on the radio, I'm not usually quiet. I'm pretty blown away. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much. It's one of the things that I do is I work with people to really be seen in the world and show up in their yumminess and their brilliance. And it's not as easy for me to do it for myself. And I'm inviting myself. I'm inviting myself to step into it more and more. And I do these really cool things where I get myself majorly distracted and I ignore the whispers in my life and the whispers from my business. And I'm really grateful for you, Sherry, and I'm grateful for all of these amazing people in my life. Like, seriously, it's
and we are very,
it's a lot.
Very and I know, darling, I know, and I knew I was, I told you I was giving you a whammy.
Damn her!
I told you I was bringing the whammy tonight. But yeah, so Keisha said it really well in the chat room. She says, let us love you, and that's it. And we are also very, very grateful for you and the contribution that you be to so many people all the time, every day, in so many ways, and with your show and in all of the ways that you contribute to people's businesses and their worlds, and just by being you and giving your loving friendship. And so everybody, please do come on to the Facebook event, be a part of this. You will not regret it. Take your body on a date and see how it changes the reality that you are creating for yourself.
And I want to add that, it's interesting because as soon as you started talking about it, I'm like, oh my God, my body has been whispering to me and trying to, I've needed a translator, and I've become my own body translator through these amazing classes. And when you and I started first talking about this, what really popped for me is, oh my God, I want other people to get. I really, 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 writing a book is going to be cool. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm pretty stoked about that. But this whole experience that I've been really mesmerized in over the last several, 2 or 3 weeks, this has only just really hit me, is the contribution that I have been ignoring massively for 52 and a half years. And now that I have, what the tools and the awarenesses that I have, I want people to get it. I want to be the contribution. I know this book can be a huge contribution. And by the way, the levels that, with your help, Sherry, we went through, what you're going to get from the contribution levels, seriously, it's huge. They're way undervalued. What you get in each of those packages is way undervalued. I'm just saying, if you were going to hire me anyways, you might want to do that. But
you know what? That's a good point, and I'm really glad to hear you say that, because I know that is so. And it's stuff like you're going to get an ebook. You get, private consultations with Christine, private sessions. It's pretty awesome, folks. So I won't hijack your show any longer.
Thank you, darling.
I'm going to let you get back to it, but I just, I thought that I would come on and just, translate that message so that it didn't get lost.
She's a smart chick, guys. If you want to write a book, she might be somebody you want to check into. I'm just saying. Thank you so much, darling. Back to your regularly
scheduled programming.
Okay. Thank you for coming back, Carol, because I'm a little lost. You might need to translate. It's really, really interesting, though, because, there's so many places and spaces in our lives, and I'm seeing this more and more because you and I do this work together, but there's so many things that are trying to speak to us, are trying to get our attention. And what is it going to take for us to start translating, start looking at these messages, not from somebody else's book, that this means this or this means this, but really looking at it and speaking to everything and asking questions?
Yeah. One of the things that sort of caught me for a good long while was not being really sure I wanted to hear what it had to say.
Ooh.
No matter what it was, right?
Say more about that.
Well, it's one of those things where you kind of already know what it's going to say, and you don't really want to hear it because you know it's right. And if you don't hear the message, if you don't get the message, then you don't have to do anything to change your life.
And if you don't have to do anything to change your life, what does that mean?
Well, you can sit and stew in it a little longer. You know what? There are so many reasons why I'm finding people, myself included, sometimes kind of like to stay in that talking about it stage.
Well, it's comfortable, right? And I mean, you and I are the same. It's not like you and I just didn't do any of this craziness. We did, and I'm stepping out, and it's a little uncomfortable. And what if I fail? Right? We have these from the moment we're young. We're our parents love us dearly. They don't want us to get hurt. They don't want us to fail. They put bumper pads around the crib. They do all these things. I mean,
wow, your parents must have loved you.
Okay, they didn't. Okay, I don't know that I even had a crib. Like, let's be truthful here, but we try to soften the blow so much, and we want so much for someone to not be hurt that we're actually, those bars, those cushions around which people put us actually end up being fences or walls to keep us stuck inside. And we don't know what it is to step out and take some risk.
Yeah. So what does it take?
Well, sometimes it takes a good kick in the ass from a friend like you. Sometimes it takes being sick and tired of being sick and tired of being sick and tired.
Yep.
And sometimes it takes knowing that what you've always known is possible is really up to you to begin to create it in the world. When each of us have that whisper in our heart, I know I have it. I don't know what it looks like, but I know I have it. I know you have it. I know so many of the brilliant hosts on A to Zen have it. We all have this knowing that way more is possible that we can create in the world. Way more joy, way more money, so that we can help people, that we can be a contribution to other people, that we can lead the way of ways that we can be kind and generous and expansive in the world. We know like we know. And it's really, it's having the courage to follow your knowing, even if nobody follows you. And that's not always easeful. But you know what I have found in my life and in my business is if I could find one or two friends, coaches, who have been there, maybe walked a trail similar to me, they can sometimes walk beside me, occasionally kick me in the ass, sometimes put their arm around my shoulders and help me to walk forward as well. Something I said to somebody the other day is, we didn't come here. I was talking with Rioa, and I said, we were laughing and having fun like we do on the radio. If everybody isn't aware, there's 4 of us that are co-producing on the radio, and we laugh and we have so much joy. And we were talking about creating together, and and just that whole awareness that we don't have to do alone. And I said, we didn't come to Earth to be alone. Like, there's 7 billion of us here. We don't have to sit in our cubby holes, licking our wounds because we don't know what to do. We can put up our hand and ask for some kindness outside of us, right?
But then you're weak.
I know. But I like being weak.
And when you don't put up your hand, one thing I've noticed is when I don't put up my hand, it doesn't allow other people to be the contribution that they so desire to be in my life.
That, you know what? That's huge. That is really big. So many of us love to gift, right? We've been taught to give and to give and to give. And it feels good when we give to someone else. But when we're always the givers and we're never the receivers, we actually deny the other person the pleasure of gifting. And I know I've done the same thing. It's a challenge to say thank you and not to go into that knee-jerk reaction of like, what can I do for you?
Yeah. Oh, you shouldn't have.
Yeah. No, really. Take it back. Like,
yeah. Oh, I never say that. What's up with that?
Awesome.
You shouldn't have, but thanks.
Yeah. No, now you know what I say? Oh my gosh, thank you so much.
Yeah.
You didn't have to, but I'm sure glad you did.
Yeah.
Why not? So
Sure.
what is it that, let's talk about business for a little while and communicating and getting translation for our businesses and for our clients.
Okay.
What have you, come on, where's all that brilliance I know is inside of there? Shake your head to the right a little.
Oh, that was my left. Hang on.
How do you begin to translate? Let's start with the businesses. How do you begin to translate with businesses? So you do energy of business work.
Yep. And I just kind of I started out, and still sometimes I do this. I just kind of picture it like I have a really vivid imagination, so I imagine it as somebody sitting beside me or across a table from me with a cup of coffee or something and just start talking.
That's awesome. You've never told me that before.
Oh, really? Surprise. So yeah, like if I have a business, sometimes I come across a business that doesn't want to speak to me. Or I think it seems I'm having trouble connecting with it somehow. That's what I do. I just go, okay, never mind. I'm just going to sit here and have a cup of coffee, and we'll just sit.
So you're patient. You're like you're treating it like a child nearly. You're just going to wait on it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or an animal or something. I usually wait. Yeah, I always wait for those things to come to me, for kids and animals to come to me. So I do that with the businesses too. And then sometimes I end up hearing a business and working with a business that's like, hello, now, hey, lady, are you up?
Like that's how my radio show speaks to you, or my business speaks to you?
Yeah, that's how your business speaks to me. It's like, hey, lady.
Cool. Okay, so we're going to do a live when we come back from our break, which I never take breaks, but we're going to take our next break. This cracks me up. When we come back, you know what we're going to do, Carol?
What? We're
going to talk about our business session today, our translation session today.
Okay, cool.
Because it was fun, and it was so like it just happened a couple of hours ago, like what we did it at 5 o'clock. So so it'll be really, really fun to share that with our listeners and to see what pops for them. So
cool.
We are talking about loss in translation with bodies, with businesses, with clients, and about translating the whispers from the universe, from the entities that we have in our lives, and we're coming up with some pretty cool things that you can tuck into your toolbox and create something for it in your life. So you're listening to Inspired Choices on A2Zen.fm, and we will be back with Carol Glover right after this commercial break.
Many of us make choices in our lives based on the past or what others think. What would our lives be like if we made our choices based on what we desire in this moment? By tuning into Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver, you'll receive tools and inspiration you can use to do just that. You are an infinite being with infinite choices. Are you ready to create the life and living you truly desire? Listen for Inspired Choices Radio Show.
What would you say if I told you that you could change your life in only 1 hour and all while lying down relaxing? Thousands of people all over the world have. What am I talking about? It's called Access Consciousness, the bars. The bars is an energetic body process that contains 32 different points on your head that when run assist you in releasing decisions about any area of your life that you have made solid and as a result cannot change. The bars is the first class in Access Consciousness, a dynamic set of tools and information designed to transform any area of your life. When you have a bar session, the worst that can happen is you feel like you had a fantastic massage. The best thing that can happen is your whole life could change. Go to accessconsciousness.com today to find a facilitator to schedule a private session or to find a bars class in your area. Are you willing to give yourself an hour to change your life?
Being visible, being social, being heard. What desires are you ready to create? Would you like to take the next step to creating a potent presence on the web? Would it create more possibilities and expansion in your life? BeingVisible.ca offers website, social media, radio show creation, and more. Creating with consciousness, bringing the energy of you to your audience. Are you ready to connect with your audience clearly, regularly, and with ease? Christine McIver and Carol Glover work with individuals and organizations to create a powerful presence on the web. Personal attention and one-on-one training creates the ease with expanding you. Are you ready? Connect today at beingvisible.ca.
This is Inspired Choices Radio Show with Possibilities Coach Christine McIver. To participate in the program today, please call toll-free in the U.S. 815-880-8255, TALK, or Canada 613-800-8736. Or you can Skype us. Our Skype name is a2zen.fm. You can also make the choice to ask or comment by email by sending to Christine@inspiredchoices.ca. Now, back to the program.
Welcome back, everyone. I am Christine, and I'm here with Carol Glover, and we're talking about Lost in Translation with how we all need a translator because we're maybe not hearing the messages that are trying to come through from all of the entities that are in our lives. There was something that dinged into my head at break, and it's gone again, but I'm sure it'll come back. I just love that. It's like if I don't write it down, it sometimes can pop away. So where were we going to go? Oh, we were going to talk about
our session today.
Right. So one of the things that, it just popped back into my head, thank you. So one of the things that Carol does is she does energy of business. So she communicates with businesses. She can communicate with your business brilliantly. She just had a big event last week, how she does a group reading and how she can change things for businesses, which is phenomenal, and you can actually still get involved in that. And Carol, maybe you can share that with them where and how they can connect. One of the things that I do is I actually speak to radio shows, and since starting the production of the radio shows, I actually speak with prospective hosts, and I can speak to their radio shows. So if that's something that you've been thinking about considering, I actually get messages from radio shows all the time, what they want to be called. I teach hosts how to speak to them, how to listen to them. It's hilarious how easy it came to me because I didn't have a point of view about it, which was fun. But I'm sure that you didn't have anything to do with that at all, Carol.
No, probably not.
So let's tell them about our session today and how we began to listen to it. So Carol and I have this business together called Being Visible. And we actually have a Facebook page called Being Visible. And Carol and I have been creating lots of different things in our lives in many different areas. The radio show's been really keeping us hopping. Carol has a position with another organization she works for part-time as well. And so we've been really hopping. And we haven't had a great deal of time to grow that baby. We've kind of, to tell you the truth, we've ignored it. Pretty dynamically.
What do you mean you can't feed yourself?
You're not walking and talking yet? So it's been very funny because I think it's been about the last 2 or 3 months that we would get notification that people were liking the Being Visible Facebook page. And every once in a while, Carol and I would be like, people are liking that. We're not even posting there.
Did you do something?
Yeah, I can't even believe I just admitted that on air. But, you know, it is what it is. And we were like, okay. Now, when Carol had this event last week, I kind of got my knickers in a knot because everybody had these huge aha moments for their businesses, what started to shift and change. And I'm like, God's sakes, nothing happened for me. Of course, it's all about me, you know, because it is. For me, anyways. And so I said, Carol, I want to have a session, talk about my business. And she's like, okay. So we did it at 5 o'clock today. And I'm going to leave the rest with you. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, we're going to do it at 5 o'clock today. And at about 4:15, your business wouldn't shut up.
She's a mouthy bitch.
I'm driving home, figuring, okay, I'll go home, I'll get ready for this meeting, and la, 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 la. And it's like, hi, okay, so this is what I want to say.
Go on, keep going. I love this. This is so much fun for me. So sometimes I have to ask questions just to get a little bit of clarification and stuff, because I was getting so many, it felt like mixed messages, like, okay, well, we're not going to do this anymore. I want to do this and this and this. And I'm like, but it still seemed in my head really tied to the other thing. And I was like, what the heck is going on? So I didn't really start to get that much clarity on it until you and I started speaking. Ah, okay. So, yeah, so we started to talk, and I said something to the effect of, you know, like, what's going on with my business, like, you know, what's happening with it, and then is that when the Being Visible piece started speaking to you?
Yeah, that's when that happened, and it was basically saying, okay, well, it's time for us to choose to change or not, because it knew that there were bits and pieces that weren't really pleasing you very well. Right.
So, you know, I do a lot of things, and I do way too many things sometimes. And, you know, I desire to be doing more facilitation, to be doing a lot more classes. And while I have the capacity to be behind the computer 24/7, it's not easeful. And that was one of the messages that I was getting from my body since doing that other work and taking my body on dates. My body is like, we like doing this other stuff. Will you please listen to us? Mm-hmm. You know, listen to me. And so my body was saying that. My business was also saying that. I did a foundation class this weekend, and my business was so joyful, and my body was so joyful. I'm telling you, I had so much fun. And the foundation classes are pretty. They can be pretty intense, as you know. Mm-hmm. Yet it was, you know, 2 full days of just absolute pure joy. So coming back to the Being Visible, there is, you know, tasks in that business that it's labor. It can be labor intensive. And yeah, so go on.
So I proposed on the business behalf that we make it's not a drastic change, I don't think, because it's just focusing more on what you like most.
Right.
And like farming out some of the stuff that other people enjoy and is no longer joyful for you.
Right, like adding to my business.
Yeah.
Like every time I add somebody to my business, it grows, which I swear to God, guys, I know that we've been taught that, but I had a really hard time believing it, and it's absolutely true.
Yeah.
So we talked to the business, and then the really cool thing about getting awareness about how the being visible business wants to contribute to us and to our expansion. And then we started, I said, okay, well, what are we charging for our services? Because I wanted to look at that. And the business speaks to us. That part for me is so easeful now. Is really speaking to the business and getting the information from the business. But if something, I don't know, Carol, if this makes sense, but if something is heavy in our lives, right? We always say if something's heavy, there's a lie, right? Well, when we're looking at our businesses and our creations, if something is heavy, asking more questions and being willing to listen is the whispers, is the translation of every entity is trying to communicate with us at all times. So anywhere out there, anything that you're creating, if it is heavy, perhaps you require more information, perhaps asking questions or working with someone that can help to manage you through the minefield of confusion. Because it's not always evil when we have skin in the game, when it when it means something to us, right? Where the outcome is very significant. It can be challenging at first to strengthen this muscle to listen.
Well, and I find too that we're so close to it that the brain is there too.
Right.
And when you're in your brain that much, when you're in your logical mind thinking things out, trying to figure things out, that shuts down a lot of the other sensitivities.
Right. You're absolutely right. Well, we've only got a few minutes left.
Holy cow.
This is hilarious how fast these shows go, but they're so much fun. So, Carol, they can find you at we've got so many different websites and email addresses, and you're
probably the easiest is carolglover.ca.
Okay, so carolglover.ca. You can check out our beingvisible.ca. You can also check out me at inspiredchoices.ca. So the CA is from Canada, if you don't know. I wanted to go into a really weird accent.
If you don't know, eh?
And you can also check us out on Facebook, Inspired Choices Inc., and Being Visible, and Firehorse is your website. Facebook, yes?
I've got that, and Clumsy Girl's Guide to Greatness.
Clumsy Girl's Guide to Greatness. She has a brilliant radio show. And what else?
Isn't that enough?
I don't know. We just got, you know what, Carol and I both do amazing things with businesses. It's complementary, and we love playing with it. I absolutely love to see people stepping into their brilliance and the contribution that they be in the world. And you know what? There's 7 billion of us out here, and there's so many people that are looking for us. If we would be willing to listen to the pops, listen to the whispers, listen to the sparkles, look for the sparkles. There are messages coming. The universe is trying to contribute to, your body is trying to contribute to, your business is trying to contribute to. What would it take for you to actually step into listening more? And, I'm doing classes, Carol's doing classes. You can hire us one-on-one. What would you like for your business, and how much contribution would your body like to both gift and receive to you and your business? So I would love to hear from you. Carol would love to hear from you. And we're also looking we're welcoming radio show hosts. We still have some open spots on the station. If you would like to know more, contact me, Christine, at inspiredchoices.ca.
Come play with us.
Yeah, we don't like to play at all. We're kind of boring. And next week is does your shit no longer fit? So join us next week. Thanks, everybody. Bye for now.
Thank you for choosing to listen to Inspired Choices Radio Show. Christine McIver will return next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time on A2Zen.fm. We hope you'll join us. Until then, have the best week of your life by making the choices that bring you all that you desire.